Welcome, guys. Thanks so much for joining us for the Team Livestrong Fundraising 101 Intro to Fundraising. We're really glad to have you guys here in person and at home as well. We've, I think, got a couple hundred people streaming, so welcome. We're really glad to have you guys spending time with us, learning more about fundraising. And I know some of you may be new to it, some of you may be experienced with it. So we're just really glad you're taking the initiative to learn a little bit more, maybe get some new ideas, all that kind of stuff. So my name is Tori Gibler. I work on the Team Livestrong staff here in the foundation. We'll also meet a couple other staff members. Alex and Ethan will meet in a little bit, but let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to talk about a couple different things. The presentation topics include what is the Livestrong Foundation, so you guys can talk to your donors more about what we do, who we are, feel more comfortable with that. We're going to do a navigation services highlight. That's what Ethan will go over. We will also talk about what is Team Livestrong, what it means to participate in these endurance events with us and to raise money for the foundation. Identifying with your donors, understanding your participant headquarters. So that's the actual fundraising webpage, login, the resources that you utilize to actually fundraise. And then some great fundraising event ideas for everyone. And then we'll go over some awards and fundraising incentives. The next upcoming Team Livestrong event is the Livestrong Austin Marathon and Half Marathon here in Austin, Texas. So a lot of kind of the Team Livestrong references that I will directly mention are related to that event because I oversee the participants running in the Austin Half and Full Marathon. So some of those will be a bit specific to that event itself. So what is Livestrong? Some of you guys may be really familiar with the foundation itself. And then we also have some people, I think, watching online that have maybe interacted or know who we are or know the wristband, that kind of thing. So what Livestrong does, our mission, is to inspire and empower people affected by cancer. That's kind of a general broad statement, but we do that in a two-prong approach: get help and take action. So the ways that people can get help through Livestrong and the Livestrong Foundation, we've got some really simple tools like our Livestrong guidebook. For anyone who's been diagnosed, you can send that to family members. It's a free resource that we just send to you, and you just pay for shipping. We've also got some community impact projects. So all over the United States, we support programs and initiatives that are successful successful cancer programs. And some of those include Camp Kesem. So Camp Kesem is a university-run student program at a couple different universities across the United States, where they actually hold a week-long summer camp for kids whose parents have either been survivors, been affected, that kind of thing. So it's unique just for young children. And then we also have Livestrong at the YMCA that we support through the Community Impact Project. Livestrong at the YMCA is a after treatment, how to regain your strength. You've gone through chemo, you've gone through surgery. How do you regain your strength? How do you regain your health? So it's all very tailored. It's a 12-week-long program, and it's free to that individual. We also have supported programs like Cancer Transition. So you're finished Livestrong at the YMCA, for example, and now you're kind of trying to go back to normal life, but you are a survivor. How do you talk about that experience to other people? How do you go back to normal life? That kind of thing. And then we have navigation services, which is what Ethan will highlight in a little bit. So that's the get help portion. Take action. So that's kind of our fundraising Team Livestrong initiative. So that would be Team Livestrong, anything where bike rides, triathlons, walks, runs, marathons. We have the Team Livestrong Challenge, all that stuff. We also have Livestrong Day. So it's an annual day on October 2nd every year where you kind of celebrate someone you love, your own survivorship, remember someone that you've lost, that kind of thing. We also have grassroots advocacy that people can participate in, grassroots fundraising, and of course volunteering. So you can always volunteer here at the headquarters in Austin, Texas, and then we have different events across the United States that you can help with volunteering-wise, and then we also have a Livestrong Leader program with some really engaged, awesome folks here in the audience. So where does the money go? So this is a great kind of resource that you guys can use. It's on our homepage, it's on our website, because a lot of times when you're raising money, some of your donors who don't know what we do or don't understand our programs may say, well, where does the money go that I'm giving to you? Where does that go? Who does that support? I know it's helping cancer survivors, but what does that mean? So this is a great tool just to show that 82% of every dollar goes towards actual programs that we implement or support. So with Team Livestrong, it's a little bit different because most of that is actually covered from our actual sponsors. But so 48% of that is education programs and policy. So that covers things like navigation services, the anti-stigma program that we have international. 34% is grants, so that's that community impact project that I talked about earlier. And then 18% is advocacy, government relations, And so that would be specifically special projects, kind of. So like in 2007, we supported the Prop 15 in Texas, which created the Cancer Prevention and Research Institute of Texas. And so that's how the money is spent in kind of an overview manner. And so you can use this resource when you're talking to your donors about where does the money go that they're actually giving. And so to kind of actually put a face to the stories, the survivors, who we help, what we do, kind of our flagship or the highlight that we really love, especially that we have a facility here in town, is our navigation services. So I'm going to hand it over to Ethan, and he's actually going to talk about navigation services.
Thank you. Well, I'm really excited to be here. I can talk about navigation all day long. I only have about 8 to 10 minutes, so I'm going to do this quickly. But as I get started, I want everybody to think about somebody they know who has cancer or who has had cancer. This might be a friend, family member. It might be you, relative, coworker. I want you to get a picture of that person in your mind, and I want you to think about their cancer experience. What did they need? What did they want? What were they lacking? Okay, think about those a little bit. And as I talk about our navigation services, I hope that you'll be able to see, oh, that person could have used this, or I'm going to tell this person about this because they'll want to use these services. So again, keep that person in your mind, because this is about people. What we're all about is helping people affected by cancer, and so it's better framed in the context of a personal experience that you might have. So up here, what I have on this slide is the basic description of our services. LiveStrong provides free, confidential, bilingual, which is in English and Spanish, one-on-one support via phone, email, and in person. And we provide services to anyone affected by cancer. So just like I said, not only the person diagnosed, but it could be their spouse, it could be their coworker, it could be a colleague, it could be anyone who knows someone with cancer and has worries and concerns about it. We want them to be able to call us, and we hope that we'll be able to connect them to services that are helpful to them. Healthcare professionals is another one that a lot of people kind of leave out of this, but as healthcare professionals, you are affected by cancer, and you may be one of helping the people that you serve. And so we try to be a resource for those folks as well. So here's kind of the list. These are the bigger buckets of the types of services that we provide. And I'll go into more depth in how we do that after this slide. But we provide emotional support. We talk to people we help people learn about their diagnosis and some treatment information. We help people understand how cancer affects their fertility and help them to find maybe some options to help them preserve their fertility. We help educate people or give people resources on maybe some alternative treatments or wellness information, things that help them on their survivorship or help their loved one during their survivorship. Certainly we know that financial and insurance and access to care is a huge barrier. Almost instantly people think, how am I going to pay for this? Am I going to be able to work? You know, there's going to be all these financial concerns. So that's a big area that we try to help people with. And then things like, okay, so this post-treatment piece. Okay, I'm done with my treatment, or I'm now in between treatments, or whatever. What do I do now? My life is very, very different than it used to be. So what are some ways that I can work on that? So here specifically is how we do that. So this person right here is someone affected by cancer. Again, they could be a loved one. They might be the person diagnosed. Well, they can reach out to us via phone, online, or in person. So I'll share some contact information on the end of this slide that I want you to take down. But it's really important to us that people have a lot of ways that they can get a hold of us. That means that we try to meet them where they're at, and we try to make our services as accessible as possible. So they call us, and they're going to get a hold of one of our what we call our navigators. So they're going to get a hold of somebody in our office that works here with us, and so then that person is going to start assessing their needs. Okay, so tell me your story. What is it that your needs are? Why are you calling me today? And they're going to start doing an assessment and start figuring out, okay, here's something I can help you with. Here's another piece. And so here's the pieces of that. The things that we do here in-house, we make referrals to other resources. So let's say you live in Des Moines, Iowa. We will look into resources that are in your neighborhood, in your backyard, and we'll connect you to those. We also, so same thing, that would include support groups. We also provide emotional support here in-house. We have licensed counselors who can help you with the emotional needs that almost everyone has in relationship to their cancer or their loved one's cancer. We have in-house our Sharing Hope program, which will help people understand their fertility options and how they might preserve their fertility. And we also help people, so adolescents and young adults have traditionally there's been a gap. A lot of help for the younger people diagnosed with cancer, a lot of help for the older population, but there's been this population between 18 and 39 that's kind of, and so we try to help focus on that area as well. So, so financial piece, we partner, and so I should actually, gives me a second to mention that what we do is we don't try to recreate the wheel. We know that there's some great organizations out there who do this work really, really, really well, and we don't want to replace them. We just want to get people connected to those places. So our goal is to partner with other organizations who do great work and get people connected to their services. So Patient Advocate Foundation is one of those. That's the financial piece. If you have questions about finances, access to care, transportation to your treatments, things like that, the practical barriers, Patient Advocate Foundation will help them. Emerging med. So this is, if people are at the stage in their cancer journey where they're considering clinical trials, something that maybe their treatment stopped working or they just want to become more educated on clinical trials, this is a service that will help them to find one that's a good match for them and their cancer that will be helpful. So the Navigate Cancer Foundation, this is a really important piece of what we do. In order to really make good decisions about your cancer journey, you have to have good information. You have to understand, what is my cancer? How does it affect me? What are the treatments? What are the side effects of those treatments? There's a whole host of just education about your cancer that, no one receives a degree in how to, no one goes to school and learns this stuff. You learn it because you are now affected by it and you're getting a crash course. Well, these folks are very, very experienced nurse practitioners who can educate people on their cancer and what that means for them in their lives. And then this is another piece, Immerman Angels. So a lot of people come to us and they ask us, do you have someone who's walked in my shoes? Someone who has my cancer, or someone who's like me, who can tell me what it was like for them? Or maybe someone who's been a caregiver. There's a lot of folks who, they just want to talk to someone who's had similar experiences. Well, that's what Immerman Angels does. They're going to match you to the best of their abilities, someone who's like you, maybe demographically, maybe by type of cancer, whatever it is that's important to you, they're going to try and match you that way. So that's a really great program as well. So this is kind of, again, those are those big buckets. We do a lot of things in navigation, and I can't sum this up in 8 or 10 minutes. I'm probably running up against my time right now. But here's what's important. If you are affected by cancer, if someone you know is affected by cancer, and again, they don't have to be the person diagnosed, they can be a loved one, we want you to call us. There is some sort of service that we can provide you. There may be things that you don't even know that you might need that we can help you to understand and to improve someone's cancer experience, their survivorship. Because what we really care about is that people are successful, they have low distress and high self-efficacy, that they can tackle this cancer journey on their own. So write down this phone number. If you pull out your cell phone right now, if you have it, get this toll-free number in your phone and make sure that that you share it with anyone who might need it and that you use it if you ever need it. You can always go to our website. Those links are here. It's extremely helpful. A lot of information on there as well. But thank you for your time. I hope you don't need our services, but if you do, I hope you'll contact us in Navigation Services. And I'll pass it on to Tori for next part.
All right. Thank you, Ethan.
You're very welcome.
So I hope that helps you guys get a better understanding of some of the things that we do, and as a Team LiveStrong participant, and as a fundraiser for the foundation, what you're doing and who you're affecting and how you're actually impacting those with cancer. And I want to stress a point that we do serve a lot of people in the Austin community and nationwide, but just even in the past 2 weeks, because of recent news, we've received a 20% increase of people calling, needing our services. And so just another reason why fundraising is so important, because we can't survive without fundraisers and implementing these programs. So it's a full cycle of we can't help these people without the fundraisers and individuals raising money through Team Livestrong and other initiatives. So it's just very important, especially with the increase that we've received, and people that didn't know that we existed, didn't know the services that we provided, they're reaching out. They've been recently diagnosed. They have a family member that's been diagnosed. So it's really important, and we appreciate you guys taking a step to learn more about fundraising and how you can actually help these people. So I do want to talk about what it means to join Team Livestrong. So this fundraising course is focused towards individuals who are Team Livestrong participants. You don't actually have to be registered now. We do have events that you might want to check out that are in the Austin area. Also, we have events across the United States, so feel free to check those out online. Anne Marie actually might post a link in the chat so you guys can check some of those out. But I want to talk about the benefits. So the next upcoming event for Team Livestrong is the Livestrong Austin Marathon and Half Marathon. So I'll back up quickly and explain Team Livestrong. I know I kind of mentioned it before. So Team Livestrong is just any individual who is participating in one of the 20 or so events that we have that are marathons, half marathons, bike rides, triathlons, and then of course our challenge series, which is a multi-distance bike series that we hold in 3 cities. So those are our Team Livestrong participants, and they are athletic or endurance focused, and then they also are, they spread our mission, and then they also fundraise for the foundation as well. And so it's a community of cancer supporters, cancer survivors, people who are affected by the disease who are taking on this athletic event and trying to make a difference. So that is Team Livestrong. So some of the benefits of running with Team Livestrong is you're running for a reason. You're making a difference. So if you've ever run a marathon, it's hard enough in itself. Training for 6 months, you know, if you've done a 100-mile bike ride, even if you've done a 5K, all of that, it takes time and commitment, and it takes training. So not only are you pushing yourself to the limit physically, but on top of that, you're doing it for more than just yourself when you're running with Team Livestrong. You're supporting those, like Ethan talked about, those people who need our navigation services, who utilize our services, who, you know, their sister might be diagnosed or their father might be diagnosed. You're supporting those people. So you're not only taking on this physical challenge, but you're also taking on the challenge of fundraising. And it is, but it can be fun, and it can actually be, if you put enough work into it, you can be actually somewhat easy and a way to connect with other people. So the benefits would be you get a secure, so for the Livestrong Austin Marathon, if you raise the fundraising minimum, you get a secured entry. So you get a guaranteed entry into the race. You get your own fundraising website that you can send out to friends and family. You can utilize fundraising or Livestrong staff to help you with that as well. You get the Team Livestrong Nike Dri-Fit shirt and Nike Dri-Fit hat, which you guys might have seen Ethan wearing when he was talking, but I know is switching between live person and then also the presentation itself. But that's the Team Livestrong shirt. So it's nice to get gear, and it's nice to get running, you know, a team outfit, but it's also, that's used as a platform of message. When you wear your Livestrong gear, when you wear anything with Livestrong on it or Team Livestrong, people know that you're out there supporting cancer survivors. It's not just a t-shirt. You're actually spreading a message, and that's something that we're proud of. When you're running or when you're riding your bike and you're running with everyone, they're like, what is that shirt about? What is Team Livestrong? Like, what is the difference between that and just running a marathon or running a half marathon or, you know, doing this triathlon? So it's also used as a way to spread the mission. So that's some of the benefits of running with Team Livestrong or participating in some of our events. So to recap the 2012 events, we just finished up the event season. So we had over 12,000 participants, which is huge. 12,000 participants raised over $7.5 million through 20 or so events. So that's all year long. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of money. And there are a lot of people participating in athletic events. So we're really proud of all the accomplishments of all Team Livestrong participants. And it's just, it's really amazing to see the progress they go through, to, you know, meet them as they sign up. They've never raised money for any charity before. They might never have done a triathlon, but hey, they're going to try it. And then when you get to see them finish, it's amazing, especially if they're a survivor or they're doing it in honor of someone. It's really amazing, and we're really proud to have all these participants involved. So for 2013 events, the first one in February of 2013 is the Livestrong Austin Marathon and Half Marathon. Then we also have the New York City Half Marathon in March, the Shamrock Half and Full Marathon in Virginia Beach in March as well. Escape from Alcatraz, which sounds like a really crazy triathlon. That is in March. Pittsburgh Half and Full Marathon, that is in May. So those are some of the open events right now. We do have rolling events that will open, like Chicago and things like other marathons. And then some other bike rides. And then we do have our Team Livestrong Challenge Series. So that'll be in Davis, California, Philadelphia, and then here in Austin, Texas. So with that being said, some of our events, now let's get down to the fundraising business. And I want to introduce Alex, one of my team colleagues, who will talk about understanding your donors.
All right. Hi, everybody. Like she said, I'm Alex, and now we're going to talk about fundraising while we're all here, while you guys signed in. And some of you might be really pumped up about fundraising, but I'm guessing a lot of you are kind of scared of it, or you just want to know more. So let's get right into it. A lot of times when people analyze fundraising, or you'll go to fundraising seminars, they'll look at numbers and charts and data. And while that might be helpful for you, for me, I like to think of fundraising as a study of people. I'm a person, my potential donors are people, so it makes the most logical sense for me to think of fundraising as just a study of humanity and how we relate to giving. So if we can just break it down and see our donors as people instead of as ATMs or lines on a spreadsheet, fundraising might not seem like so much of a daunting task. It might be a little more easy, and you might find it to be enjoyable, actually. And if we can understand that our donors are people just like us, we can understand how they think when it comes to giving, and then how we can break down those barriers that prevent them from reaching to their checkbooks. So a couple things that I've noticed in my fundraising, and I'm no expert, but just from observing people and my experiences, I found that people like to give to other people. People appreciate something in return when they give, people can forget to give, and people need motivation to give. And these all seem pretty simple and quite obvious, but it's these simple things that present huge barriers when we try to ask people to donate to us. And it's these simple things that make fundraising unnecessarily complicated and frustrating when we don't understand them and take them into consideration when we try to fundraise. So the things that we do to combat them are pretty simple as well. Personalize, incentivize, remind, and inspire. And, there you go. There's the class. Game over. That's all you need to know. Done, right? But they're a lot more complicated than just at first glance. And what we want to do now is just dive into it, figure out really the thought process behind all these thoughts that people have, and then have you figure out how you're going to fit into this and how you're going to tailor your fundraising to make sense for you and your potential donors. So that brings us to the first point. People like to give to other people, personalized, because this is about you. So people that donate to Livestrong are giving to Livestrong technically, but they're giving through you, and because you reached out to them with your appeal and you asked them. So as a member of Team Livestrong and throughout this fundraising process, you are Livestrong's liaison to the world. We started Team Livestrong because we realized the power of people and the power of your story, because this fight is about you. This is about you or your mom or your sister or your cousin, your coworker, whoever motivated you to join this fight. That's who this is about. That's who your fundraising efforts are about. So we want you to think about those and share their stories, share your stories, because whatever motivated you to join could be the motivation that somebody needs to give. So make sure that you share that. You have your personal page, write out that story of your inspiration, and then put up pictures. Put a face on your appeal too. One thing that it's really hard for us as people to do is to give to faceless organizations. The name of Livestrong is very empowering, but for a lot of people, it's just a name and it's a building somewhere far away, some nonprofit. But cancer is not some faceless disease. It affects people. It affects faces and stories. So share those stories and help other people realize that this isn't just going off into the distance. It's actually making tangible change in this world for real people that they might know or that reminds them of their own story. So most importantly, share your cancer connection, share your inspiration, share those pictures, or you can upload a video maybe of you and your family, and then share how Livestrong fits into your story and how we're all going to make a difference when we fundraise together. So I just would really encourage you guys to not let cancer be this huge anonymous beast that we can't tame. it's something that affects us personally, and we need to keep that in mind, especially in our fundraising. And that's really going to help us be successful in our fight overall. And the next thing is that people appreciate something in return when they give, so we need to incentivize them. So a major key to successful fundraising, in my opinion, is believing that not all giving is done for altruistic reasons. And that's not saying that people are bad, but if you only believe that people just give out of the goodness of their hearts, you might be kind of upset when your site isn't crashing every day with people just wanting to give and help. You know, don't they care about cancer? Don't they care about me? You know, of course they do, but honestly, they have things to do, stuff to buy, and our society has made us think that our money is our resources. Those are our valuable trading materials that we need to keep. So it's really hard for people to see donating not as sacrificing sometimes. So in order to get around that, we need to just simply give them something back. So what's not simple is that we are complex human beings and we all need different things. So there's different people out there. Some people need love, some people need recognition, and some people just need something tangible in return for what they think they're giving up. They want something back. So these first kind of people that need love, they will give to be rewarded by your love and adoration. Of course they want to help, but they're also helping because it's you and they love you and they want you to know it. So what you have to do back for them is show them the love. Flood them with thanks. Let them know how much this means to you and how much you're going to appreciate them when they give. So for people like this, that is what's going to, you know, tug on their heartstrings and pop open their checkbooks, is when they know that your relationship with each other is going to benefit from them giving. So make sure that they know that, you know, this is a positive thing that you can do for the world and for me, and I love you. I'm going to write you handwritten notes. I'm going to hug you. I'm going to flood you with thanks. So keep that in mind, especially if you know that some of your donors are these people that are giving because they want to help and because they love you. Second kind of people are people that need recognition. So some people will give because they want to help and because they want props or recognition for doing so. And you know, this isn't selfish and this isn't bad. It's just a natural inclination to want something back when we give and to feel good and recognize when we give something up. So in order to combat this, we need to give people the option to be thanked publicly. We need to show that people are going to know how good of a person you are. You know, it's not, that sounds bad, but some people need that, and just to motivate them to give. So you might want to give shout outs on your emails that you send out. Say, you know, so-and-so gave to me this week, I'm so thankful. You can offer sponsorships. Maybe you're going to make t-shirts for your event. You can put their name on the back of your shirt, you know, just simple things that show people that you are telling the world how much you appreciate their gift. So some people need recognition. And then lastly, sometimes people just need something tangible in return. They literally want something to hold or some kind of service because they gave something up and it justifies that for them. So how do you do that? You just give them stuff. In college, I raised $5,000 in a campaign to end world hunger by making grilled cheeses on my campus. You know, people were hungry, people like grilled cheese. So instead of asking people just to give because people are hungry in this world and they should help out, we gave people an option. Instead of just going to the cafeteria, they could get their lunch with us. And I've really found that, you know, providing charitable options for people is a proven way to fundraise and a way to do so sustainably, because people are going to keep coming back because they keep needing these things. And it's going to really help them mentally and fiscally justify giving because they have something that they need back. And you know, people kept coming back for grilled cheeses because they kept needing to have lunch. And also, if you provide that charitable option, you might find that people are going to pick that more often than just a regular purchase or a regular service because they get the added benefit of feeling good about it too. So they're getting what they need and they're getting feel-good vibes on top of it. So think about your work and your social life and how you can incorporate fundraising into it. Think about these opportunities. You could have a bake sale at work. You could host a dinner party for your friends and ask them to donate for the dinner and the service. You could have a car wash. You could babysit your brother's kids. You know, little things that you used to do maybe when you were in grade school or when you were a Girl Scout. You know, you can't be above those things because those are still raising money, and every dollar counts. You know, it might not seem like the big check coming in, but that's progress, that's steps, and every step that we can take is a step towards beating cancer. So, you know, embrace those things, think about them, and use your creativity. And for example, my dad worked at a hospital, and we had a bake sale one day to raise money to help my sister find a bone marrow transplant. So having a bake sale in a hospital when people are tired and, you know, sad, to bring some homemade baked goods to them, that really made them feel good. They got a break from the cafeteria. And also, we were sharing our story. So what we thought was just going to be a little bake sale, we raised $1,000 in 5 hours because people just heard the story. So the thing about cancer is that you can't underestimate how many people it affects. And of course, that's terrible. It's scary, but you know what? We can use that against cancer, and the fact that so many people are affected and are looking for a chance to do something about it. So, you know, you might think that you're just giving a brownie to somebody, but that might be their opportunity to do something that's been weighing heavily on their hearts. Maybe they've been wanting to give. Maybe someone that they know has been affected and they've been wanting to get involved, and that brownie or that car wash is their way of joining the fight. So just think about those needs, be creative, and yeah. So the next point is that people can forget to give. So think about yourselves, because you know you're a person too, just like your donors, and think about how many emails you get a day and how much you have going on in your brain. And you know, someone might have gotten that first email that you sent asking, and they put donating to you on a mental to-do list that just can no longer be found. You know, it's human nature. We have a lot to do. So what we need to do is remind people, and we don't want to annoy them, but we need to gently remind them. And probably one of the best ways to do this, and something that we found in our own fundraising that's very helpful, is just include a little line in the signature of your email. You know, your work email, your personal email, that doesn't take any effort on your part. It's not throwing it in their face, but it's a constant reminder of what you're doing and what you're doing it for. So you put your name, little line, please help support me as I support people affected by cancer, and then the link to your page. And it's really easy, it's simple. Another way to do it is keep in mind that you are training for an athletic event. You are making progress towards athletic goals, and you can remind people about that while reminding people of your fundraising goals without pushing your fundraising ass over and over and over again. So you can keep bringing up that you're trying to raise money without outright asking them and feeling like you're pushing yourselves on people. So don't be afraid to send out a tweet or email saying, yay, I ran 20 miles today, feeling great, can't wait to beat cancer in February with the rest of Team Livestrong. Also, you can donate here, it's so easy. And that's probably one of the biggest things that help people save time, is make that link to your personal page and that link to donating so easy that it's a no-brainer on where to go next. Because there is nothing sadder than someone who is committed in their heart to give, they're ready to take that next step, and they can't find that link anywhere. Where do I donate? Where do I send this check? And you know, they don't have time to go back in their history and find your email or dig through their mail. Make that link accessible everywhere. So it's just a simple, I want to give, here's the link, here am I going to go. So make it obvious, and don't annoy people. And then the fourth thing, which is probably the most difficult, is that people need motivation to give, and that we have to inspire them. So think about how many times a day you're asked to give. You're asked to give in the grocery line, you're asked to give on emails, on TV. You know, if Sarah McLachlan comes on TV with another three-legged dog, I'm just gonna lose it, you know, with all the human rights things. It is so sad, and it's just over and over again. We're bombarded with all of these terrible images and campaigns that need to be helped. And if we kept giving every time that we were asked, we would be broke. We would be broke mentally and emotionally, because we would be connecting our hearts with these causes and just giving and giving. And we would be broke fiscally, because we would just be giving all the time. So how do we get around that? How do we, you know, break that barrier down? How do we get over that hardened heart that we have towards charity? So what makes you stop? You know, think about what made you turn around and talk to that salesperson at the cashier stand that was asking you to give an extra $1 to this campaign, or what made you read that email instead of deleting it. And those things that made you stop are going to make your donor stop. So incorporate those into your giving. Remember what inspired you and what made you turn around. And then also just never forget why. Never forget why you're doing what you're doing. Those people that helped you get where you are now. Never forget the people that motivated you to join this fight. Never forget the work that we do at Livestrong and that actual difference that it's making for these survivors. That is so important to remember, especially as time goes on. If you have a long fundraising process, you might kind of need to rejuvenate yourself of why am I here? Why is this important? And then probably most importantly, just invest in what you're doing and believe in it. So you believe in these people that inspired you to join the fight, and you believe that you're going to make a difference, and believe in yourself as that person that's going to make that difference. You are a powerful agent of change in this, and this is your way to join this fight. This is your battleground and your way to make some impact and make something happen. So get excited about it. Be fired up. We've all been asked to give before by people who are lackadaisical, who are shy about it. Maybe you've even tried that technique. It works sometimes when you go up to people and you're like, oh, I hate giving, I'm sorry, or I hate asking people to donate, like, it's no big deal, like, whatever, you don't have to, I'm sorry, I'm annoyed, like, I'm annoyed too, like, you don't have to. So, sometimes people are like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll give you a couple bucks, but what does that do? What does that do for our fight? We have this huge, big deal ahead of us. We have cancer to fight. It is a big deal. Fundraising is a big deal. Every dollar you raise and every step you take is a big deal because we're making positive motions towards a world without cancer. So get fired up about it. Tell people that they're making a difference. Every dollar counts. This is important. Can't wait. And just see what happens. Just see what happens if you try to approach this, that this is going to make a difference. Just see the impact that it can make. So just to recap, remember to personalize your appeal with your story, incentivize donors with thanks, props, services, or goods, remind potential donors to give, inspire people to join the fight by believing in yourself and the positive impact that your fundraising can have. So, and there you go. So how do I start? Maybe you have a better grasp now on just the general ideas of fundraising and the way people think about giving. But now we're going to break it down more specifically to Team Livestrong, and we've developed tools that help you make it happen and make it easy for you. So Tori's going to explain those for you.
Thank you. Good job, Alex. So now that you guys kind of better understand how to understand your donors and how they react to giving and how to inspire and motivate them to give, you've got all this information. What do you do with it? How do you fundraise? You know all these things now, but what do you do? So with Team Livestrong, we've got a couple things for you. We have your participant headquarters. So like when I said with some of the benefits when you sign up for an event, you actually get a fundraising webpage. So it's a place where your donors can go to make an online gift, to actually read more about your story, see those pictures that Alex was talking about, and also they can figure out ways if they want to make a check contribution or donate offline. So that's your participant headquarters. I'm sorry, that's your fundraising website. Your participant headquarters is kind of the internal perspective that you guys see it. So it's a place where you log in, you actually type out your story, and then we also have PDF resources that you guys can access with how do I start a social media campaign? How do I raise $1,000? Who do I contact? There's different resources in there that you guys can access that are inside your participant headquarters. You can also track your progress, all that, we'll go over it in a minute. And then Team Livestrong staff. We're doing this presentation, we work here every day, we want to help you guys reach your goals. We want to help you reach your training goals, your fundraising goals. It's really important to us that you guys feel successful and feel great as you're participating with us, and we love having all of our participants. So we always reach out to us if you have questions, if you have concerns, even if you just want to share a milestone with us. I love when fundraisers and Team Livestrong participants share a milestone with me. It's always inspiring. So where do you go? So when you sign up for an event, to access your participant headquarters, you'll get a link in the confirmation email that you receive. Not everyone always saves their emails. That's okay. You can always access the actual participant headquarters from our website as well if you don't have that link. So this will be kind of a step-by-step with these are different screenshots of our actual website, the participant center, that kind of thing. So this is our general homepage. This is livestrong.org. So up top, you'll see there's quite a few things going on, but there is a login button in the top left corner. I've circled it in red. That red circle is not always there I put that there. So from there, you'll click on that. There's a couple clicks we have to do. Then you'll see there's going to be a list of actual events that you can participate in. And so this is not the full list, it goes down, but for the screenshot, I cut it shorter. So for the 2013 Livestrong Austin Marathon and Half Marathon, you'll want to click on that. And this will take you to the actual page. This is where your donors can go. This is where you would go to log in. If you know someone who wants to register or join your team, if you want to start a team, that kind of thing, you can go here so you can see the different buttons. But up top, you'll see there's an event home, donate to a friend, and then there's login. So again, I put that red circle there, just telling you where to go. So you click login. So we're going to go into my participant headquarters for an event that I did. So this is my username. I won't tell you my password, but you go in. This is what it looks like. If you forget your username or password, you'll see there's some links that can reset those to your actual email account, and you can go from there. So this is for an event that I held a couple weeks ago. This is actually a grassroots fundraising event, which is kind of part of Team Livestrong. So it says, welcome to your grassroots fundraising center, Tori. You know, kind of tells me what I need to be doing. So it shows my progress. I raised $195. We've got a check coming in the mail, so I have reached my goal. It just hasn't made it there yet. So at a goal of $300, and so right now it says I've made 65% to my goal, and I have 0 days left to my event because my event already took place when I took this screenshot. But if you're running the Livestrong Austin Half or Full Marathon, if you're doing one of the challenges, it'll say you're X amount of days from the event. So that way, if you know you're 25% to your goal and there's 2 days till the event, you gotta hurry up. You gotta get moving. So it's kind of cool about this. It says what to do next. So it says, Tori, you have 11 donors that you haven't thanked. You really need to do that. That's really important. It's really important to thank your donors and recognize their giving. So it'll have different kind of prompts that tell you, you need to do this, you need to personalize your page. That way, if you forget what you need to be doing, or kind of reminders of what's important and what you need to actually be changing. So you also see there's a couple tabs up top. They say home, email, progress, and personal page. Right now we're on the home screen. So this is kind of like the general, your home page. So how do you personalize your URL? So when Alex was talking about earlier, actually putting out your link everywhere and making sure that people receive your link and it's easy to read, we'll show you how to personalize that. You want to update your fundraising page description. So when people actually go to your fundraising page, it doesn't we have default language that you can keep, but making it personal, sharing your story, saying why you're running for Team Livestrong, why you're writing in the challenge, why you're doing this triathlon. Making it personal is really important. And then, of course, adding pictures and video. So it's not just a Livestrong logo or something. It's actually you with your mom or you and your family and whatnot. So how do you personalize your page and your URL? So when it showed that home screen earlier, you saw that home was underlined with a yellow line. Now personal page is underlined with a yellow line. So the event I held a couple weeks ago was for my birthday. So I decided, in lieu of presents, I didn't want birthday presents, I would receive donations, and I would also host a party. So it was a birthday party where I received donations in honor of my birthday. So I called it the Gibbler Games because my name is Tori Gibbler, and I thought that was funny. So I went ahead and changed my URL to say Gibbler Games. So where it says personal page, and you'll see it's HTTP and all that stuff, it would say / or go to / and then it would be the HG3 ? +, all of that really unpretty URL. But you want to make that look nice, and it also shorten it for your donor so it's easy to read. So if you click on URL settings, the item that's circled in red, you can change it to whatever you want. You can do Tori Gibbler, you can do Brian Smith, you can do whatever your name is or whatever you want it to be. You can change it. So it's always important to change that because it's an easy link to give to your donors. And then also, you'll see content is circled because we are in the content area where you're changing the actual fundraising page description. So like I said, there is default language there, and you're more than welcome to keep that or incorporate some of the default language into your actual page. But it's always good to add something special. So this would be where you would put, I'm running the Livestrong Austin Marathon and Half Marathon in honor of my sister. And this is my sister's story, and we're close, and she might even come down and run with me or whatnot, but that's where you make it personal. This one is just personal for everyone who actually came to my birthday party. So what was the actual event? It was in celebration of my birthday. We had silly games. People donated $10 or more. And then where it was, when it was, that kind of thing. And who it benefited, Livestrong. So You can preview it. You can view your personal page so you can actually see what it looks like before you save it and it goes live. If you don't like the way the formatting looks, you can change that. So that's that. You can also add a picture. So you'll see below content there's another button that says photos, video, and you just browse on your computer and find whatever picture you want. It looks really pixelated here, but I'll show you in a second what it looks like, and it looks fine on the actual fundraising website. So this is the actual fundraising page itself. So this is what all my donors saw. So what you guys were looking at a minute ago was my participant headquarters, my participant center. So that's where I can change everything, personalize my URL, do all that. That's where you log in. This is the outward-facing fundraising page that all my donors see. So this would be sent to them. And of course, it's longer. It says more stuff, but the screenshot looks shorter. So they just click on that button that says Donate to Tori. Takes all of your donors to an actual fundraising donation form. They fill all that out like they normally would if, even if they're like shopping online, that kind of thing. And it's all secure. So they make a donation online. If they want to make a check donation or they don't feel comfortable donating it online, they can also click that printable gift form button. That'll open up a new tab where there's an actual form that they can print, fill that out, and then mail it in with a check. That includes the mailing address for where the check needs to be mailed and how to fill out the donation form itself. So that's a good way to, if your donors don't feel comfortable making a gift online. And then lastly, if your donors don't feel comfortable writing a check or it's too soon, they can always call the foundation, and we have staff that can take donations over the phone. So if they don't want to make it online, they don't want to send in a check, staff can always take donations over the phone too. So that's what an external facing fundraising page looks like and how to tailor it. So also in the participant headquarters, we have PDFs of these different resources that people can open and use. And if they don't know how to write an email campaign, if they've never written a fundraising campaign, or a fundraising email, I'm sorry, if they don't have any fundraising ideas, they're not sure where to start, they don't know how to work social media or tweet, use a Twitter account or any of that, we've got some links in there that can help as well. And if you're a Team Livestrong participant as well, you can also order wristbands that you can hold at some of your events to kind of encourage the donations for wristbands as well. And then there's fundraising ideas, and then there's campaign templates. We'll draw some of those. So this is, again, inside the participant headquarters. So on that home page where the home was underlined with yellow, this is just further down on the screen. So this is your participant headquarters. It's got some of your useful resources. So this one says marathon training and half marathon. If you're participating in a bike ride, it wouldn't say that. It would say, here's a bike ride training schedule, that kind of thing. Then we've also got some bib artwork, because I know that people like to ride in memory and honor, or run in memory and honor, or I'm a survivor. And we've got a couple other things that people can use as well. So these are all great resources that people can use, and it's in your participant headquarters. And then this is just a template of one of the actual PDFs. So how to create a successful email campaign. So personally, I think this and Who Do I Contact are two of the best resources that you can use. If you make a donation to yourself, which is always the most important thing to do, make a donation to yourself to motivate people to give. If they know that you're financially invested, they will be financially invested and feel more encouraged. But then on top of that, the next easiest lift you can do, the easiest thing you can do is you can do a Facebook post. That might be the easiest. But the next easiest thing that might make a higher impact, in my opinion, are sending actual personal emails. So, or letters too. We've had staff members that have written personal letters that have been very successful that included pictures and whatnot. So just personal contact with someone is a very successful tool. So this kind of talks about, what do I write about? How do I choose a header? How do I personalize the email? It's kind of very similar to how you would update your actual fundraising page description. That is the same kind of format that you would almost use for the email itself. So this is it's a longer document, but I just wanted to show you guys that this is just one of the PDFs we have. So donating to yourself and then having a personal email campaign. And I'm not talking about sending out a mass email that says Dear Family and Friends and BCCing everyone. I'm actually saying, write an email, Dear Dan, Dear Alex, Dear Mom, whoever, making it very personal, and then it is more likely to resonate well with them. So then this is Who Do I Ask? Of course, we have your obvious, your family, friends, and your coworkers. Those are some of the first circles that you should always tap into. Those are the people that spend the most time with you and they care about you the most. But on top of that, you're like, who else do I interact with? Who else do who do I know that would actually give, or be inspired to give, or know me well enough? So this kind of talks you through some of the things that you might not think about. Your accountant, your gym instructor, your financial planner, your dentist, all of those individuals, they're more than willing to give. And I've personally had that experience where you don't actually know if they're going to give, and you just simply ask them, and they care about you enough that they will. And it's surprising that you go and see the person who cuts your hair maybe once every 3 months, but they know you well enough, and that you ask, and they do. So it's a nice surprise, and these people will give, especially if they care about you, and you have a good relationship. So sending emails, adding contacts, template emails, tracking progress, and thanking donors. These are some of the other things that you guys can do in your participant headquarters. So sending emails. So back in the actual participant headquarters, you'll see there's home, email, progress, personal page. Under the email, we've seen now the email is highlighted with the yellow line. So originally this is all blank. I filled some of this in. But when you get to this page, it just says to is blank, subject blank. The actual body of the email is all blank. The nice thing that we actually have template emails that you can use. So if you don't know how to write a fundraising email, or if you haven't looked at that, how to build a successful email campaign, you're not sure where to start, this is a great starting point. So where it says hide templates, actually what that normally would say I think it says show templates, or here, example templates. So there's support me, thank you for your support, and then there's the blank message. So support me, you'll see there's some language that's filled in, and then it says insert a paragraph about what event you're doing and what your fundraising goal is. So underneath that, there's actually an example page that example that you can use, and this one is for the Livestrong Austin Marathon and Half Marathon. So this is a useful tool if you're not really sure where to start, or you feel uncomfortable, or you don't know how to ask for money, or you don't know how to put your actual words down into an email. This is a good place to start. And then how to add contacts so that you can actually send emails directly through your participant headquarters. Circled over on the right, it says contacts. And from there, you'll go to another page. So these are my actual donors, but I've blacked out their emails so people I hopefully don't email them. So you can also, this is where you'll see some of them made donations. So you import your contacts here, and I won't throw you through the whole process, but once you go from there, it'll say which kind of email system are you using, Gmail, Yahoo, whatnot, and then you can import them, and it's kind of a step-by-step process. And so then tracking progress of your actual donations, under the progress page, that's now highlighted with yellow, you'll see October 19th to October 23rd, I spiked up to over $65, and then I kind of went down and then up, and then we'll get another big spike when that check cashes. But it's just a good way to see how you're doing and kind of see, maybe did I send emails on this day? Like why did it go so high that day? Kind of understanding what you're doing, what's working well and what's not. That's also a helpful resource. And then also further down on your home screen, there's, your personal page, your progress page, there is a download personal donation list. So this is where you would actually go to thank your donors. So you can actually thank them under the actions item. See, some people wrote some messages. I blacked out some of them. And then under the actual download personal donation list, that's where when you actually pull up the list, it'll show their actual mailing address, their email address. If you want to send them a personal thank you card in the mail, that'll be listed there and how much they gave and whatnot. And it shows you the date they gave so that you know that they gave on the 29th of October, so I better hurry up and give them a gift or give them a thank you and whatnot. So that's just a good way to also know who your donors are. So if you're returning from event to event different years, or you did an event for us in the spring and then you want to do one in the fall, it's helpful to log in and see who gave to me in the spring, who can I probably come back to in the fall, and that kind of thing. And then, so this would be back to the email, the actual thank you email. So you can use this as well. So this is under the template emails as well. It says, thank you for your support. So this one goes on to talk about thank you for donating to me and supporting cancer survivors and people who benefit from navigation services and all of that. So that's a good thank you template as well if you've never written a thank you note or never written a donation thank you note or something like that. So. And then that is your participant headquarters. So make sure you personalize it with pictures, description of your page itself. your URL, utilizing the fundraising ideas. So on there was some other fundraising ideas, sending emails, tracking progress, and then also making sure that you're properly thanking and recognizing your donors. And then Alex is going to talk to us about the team part of Team Livestrong in fundraising.
So just going back to the whole people thing, we have all these great tools online, but you can also use people and your fellow participants as tools as well. So we really encourage you guys to train together. We don't have any official Livestrong training groups, but you can find other people who are in your event and work together. And if you've trained with people before, you know that it's a great way to reach your goals faster because you can motivate each other, you keep each other accountable. And the same thing is true with fundraising. You can pool your resources together. It's a lot less difficult to plan an event with a couple people than if it's all just falling on you. So you can use your resources together, you can split the profits, and just have a great time doing it as well. And then another thing you can do, if that doesn't really make sense, if you don't know anyone who's participating in the event or it just doesn't work out for you, you can just sign on online and go on our Facebook page and participate with other people online and brainstorm and come up with ideas. So we make a Facebook group for each different event. So don't be afraid to go on there and say, hey, I'm having some trouble. Does anybody have any ideas? Or I want to host a backyard barbecue. Has anybody done that before? What's successful? What's not? So bounce ideas off of each other. And then Team Livestrong as well, we get on there and we'll facilitate conversation and put in our own thoughts as well. So don't be afraid to lean on each other because this is Team Livestrong after all. So fundraise as a team as well. So Tori is going to talk about how you can work with your workplace as a team and tool in fundraising.
So corporate giving options. So individuals have the ability to give on a number of scales depending on how financially successful your friends and family are. But corporate giving provides an ability to get much larger donations. So workplace giving is one that you can talk about with your coworkers. So that is almost similar to, it's typically, not all workplaces have it, but it's a payroll deduction that comes out of their payroll. So if you're communicating with your coworkers and you said, hey, I'm running in the upcoming Livestrong Austin Marathon with Team Livestrong, I'm trying to raise $1,000, would you consider helping me and providing some financial support? And they would agree to it, and then they would contact their employer and say, hey, I want to give through my payroll deduction and through it to this charity. So if your workplace does not have Livestrong already in their workplace giving database, we can actually be added. You can always contact Livestrong and we'll provide you the correct information that you need to provide your HR or your workplace giving manager to ensure that you have all the proper documentation from us so we can be added to your system. But then workplace giving actually comes out of their payroll and then it's sent to us just based on how the company feels appropriate. So it could be quarterly, could be every 2 weeks, once a month, that kind of thing. So that will come at a slower time frame than an actual online contribution, but it is another giving tool for your coworkers to give to you. And then often when they do give, sometimes the employer will actually match the gift when you're giving through workplace giving. They can also match the gift if you gave directly to my fundraising page online. So both of these are great methods, and I'll kind of explain matching gifts, the actual process in a full cycle, but everything that has to do with corporate giving takes a very long time, probably a couple months. Corporations and some businesses have to go through usually some type of review and decision-making process. So if you're considering asking for a corporate sponsorship or a matching gift or a workplace giving gift from a coworker, make sure you get started now. If it's 2 weeks from the actual event and you need to reach your fundraising minimum, it's probably not going to happen. It can come always later, and you can fundraise for your event after the event. But if you're trying to reach a minimum, you'll want to go ahead and get started on that pretty early. So matching gifts, how that process works, because that's often, it's free money. It's a company that is willing to match someone's donation and give you free money. You can double what you're fundraising. It's a great tool to raise money. It just takes a very long time. So how that works, say your friend works for a film company, we'll just call it film company, and they make a donation of $50 to your page, and this company matches 100%. So the company would match $50 as well. So the employee itself, the person who works at a film company, they would actually have to contact their HR or their matching gift department and say, hey, I just donated to LiveStrong, donated $50, and I was hoping that you guys could match as well. So the company will often have the donor fill out some type of online application or in-person or a paper form, I'm sorry. And then they will either send that online form or the paper form to the charity. So they would send it to LiveStrong. And the information they ask for is just, what is your donation name? How much did you give? And when did you give? So once it gets to the actual charity itself, to us, we actually go through a review process and say, yes, John Smith donated $50 on X date. And then we say, okay, you're good to go, film company. You can send us the matching check whenever you want. So then it goes back to the company. The company then goes through a review process to make sure everything is under regulation and everything is actually adding up. And then they will release the matching gift funds on a rolling process. And so that depends, it's different for every single company. I find that typically they disperse the funds quarterly. So again, it does take a long time. And typically what I see is that a matching gift process takes between 3 to 6 months. It's a very long process. But again, it's free money. So it's always worth doing, just you might have to get started early on it. And we do not soft credit gifts that have not come in yet. So corporate giving and sponsorship. So this might be more if you're a little bit new to fundraising and you want to just approach a local business. So say you eat at a restaurant, quite frequently you know an owner. You know that you guys have somewhat core, it could be like a healthy restaurant or some type of organic restaurant. So you feel it kind of has that health alliance or some type of connection to LiveStrong in a core mission or values type way. You feel free to solicit them. Again, those can take a while as well. Just say, hey, I'd love if you guys could sponsor me. I come here quite a bit and I'm trying to make a difference in the fight against cancer. And I think you guys are also, we have similar visions in that perspective. So what do you say? And they might require some documentation. They might want our 501c3, some actual IRS information. And you can always reach out to us and get that from us as well. And then, like for example, when I had my Gibbler Games, I contacted a local grocery store so that there would be no overhead cost to me. And I knew that I was going to be providing finger food and kind of like that while people hung out. So I just asked for a couple of gift cards to cover the actual appetizers that I was going to have. And so I applied for the gift card, they had to go through a review process, make sure that it was legitimate. I had to send them some documentation from the actual foundation, and it got approved, but it did go through a 2-month approval process. So it is something you need to get started on early. So that is some corporate giving options. So these are great ways to get free money to double your impact of a gift. But just keep in mind, they do take a while. So go ahead and get started on those early and start planning those out soon. And then now we're going to tell you about some fundraising success stories.
So we hope you have a better grasp on people and what it means to give and how you get those people to open up their checkbooks. And we hope you understand the tools that you can use to make fundraising easier on you. And one of the best things that you can do with fundraising is learn from other people. Like Ethan said about the navigation services, you don't have to reinvent the wheel with fundraising too. Take some models that other people have done and figure out how that can work for you. So one success story that we like is there was a father and son, and the son was diagnosed with cancer, and they were both big football fans. They tailgated every weekend, so they capitalized on that opportunity and hosted a chili cook-off at a tailgate one weekend. So they were doing what they would have normally done anyway. They were hanging out with their friends. They were having a great time, but they ended up raising $700 that weekend. So it was a great opportunity and bonding for them, and they made a really big difference in the fight against cancer and got closer to their goals. So some other ideas, you could organize a fundraising casual Friday at your work. Talk to your HR, ask if all of the coworkers can donate $5 on Friday to wear jeans. We've had corporations do that and raise, a couple $100. Some raise thousands of dollars. You never know, and it's really easy and something that people will like, because who doesn't like wearing jeans on Friday? So other things that you can do, instead of having a happy hour with your coworkers, you could make a donation to yourself of what you would have spent going to that happy hour, or maybe you can have them over, go to Costco and get some cases of whatever, and then have people donate to you for that time and that experience. you can use your birthday or holiday as an opportunity to accept gifts for Livestrong and for your donation efforts or your fundraising efforts. So we have Christmas coming up, Hanukkah, all these opportunities to say in lieu of gifts this year, you know, don't get me another Yankee Candle or a stuffed animal. I will take that $20 and use it to make a difference in the world. So put that opportunity out there. So, you know, maybe people don't want to go into Yankee Candle again this season. So tell them that they can donate instead. We had another person pick a day that he asked all of his friends to give $5 or less to his page. And you might be like, why would you do that? But he said he would match everything less than $5, he would match just for that day. And so it's just little things that gives everybody an opportunity to get involved. You know, maybe money's a little bit tight, but they can give $5, and then he matched it. So it shows that he was connected and dedicated to the cause as well. And that's something that we really encourage you guys to do. If you haven't already made a donation on your own page, go do it right now. That shows that you are not only dedicating your time and your energy to this, but that you see this as a worthy investment, that you are going to give up your funds because you believe that strongly that this is going to make a difference. And that's really going to give confidence to your donors that they should do the same as well. So, you know, have a garage sale with your neighbors and, you know, split the profits. There's so many things that you can do to raise money. Sell grilled cheese, it works. And so just to recap of what we've done, Tori, you want to come up here with me? And so we've talked about the foundation and our work here. We've talked about how your fundraising dollars go to programs that help support survivors. We've talked about how to identify with your donors as people. And Tori talked about Participant Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we just talked about working as a team, corporate giving options, and some successful fundraising stories. And so, like she said again, using the individual Facebook pages for the actual Team Livestrong event. So each individual event has its own page. It's monitored by a Team Livestrong staff member that can, if you have questions. But that's always great places where I see where people are actually commenting to each other. They're saying, I've raised, you know, I participated with an event last year. If you guys need help, and this is just individual participants, not necessarily even me. People are willing to help each other. We had another girl who was brand new. She said, this is the first time I've ever fundraised for a charity. What do I do? Immediately, 5 people started saying, like, do this, do that, here's a great idea. Sharing on the Facebook pages is really important. And with New York, that happened last weekend, as things started to somewhat unravel, immediately everyone on the Facebook page communicating with each other. What are you guys doing? What's going on? Like, let's go ahead and have a run. Let's go volunteer. Just so much communication, and it's a little hub of Team Livestrong participants in one huge event, and it's great for them to interact and talk. So always a great resource for you guys to join the actual Facebook pages. All right, so for the Livestrong Austin Marathon, we have some fundraising event details to tell you guys about. Fundraising awards for Livestrong Austin Marathon and Half Marathon, fundraising incentives, and then weekend events. So the actual awards themselves, as you're fundraising, our goal for the actual Team Livestrong for the Livestrong Austin Marathon, Half Marathon is $400,000, which is a huge amount for a team, but I know that our team will actually be able to do it, and we want to properly recognize everyone who puts forth all these effort and all their time to fundraise and train and all of that. So the actual fundraising awards themselves will be highest individual fundraiser, biggest team, so highest recruitment, that kind of thing, led by probably a really strong team captain, and then a highest fundraising team itself. So it could be a small and mighty team. It could be a team of 5 people that raised $20,000. And then we also will have the biggest messenger or best messenger. So the one who spreads the message the most, has the most donors, is able to actually send the mission awareness to as many people as possible. So then in fundraising incentives for the Livestrong Austin Marathon, so the actual entry itself to run with Team Livestrong through us would be a $500 entry, or $500 fundraising minimum. If you already have your own entry, you've already purchased it on your own, you can also join us. And it would just be $250 fundraising minimum for you if you want the Nike Team Livestrong shirt, the hat, and then also be invited to the weekend activities. So, and then if you raise $1,000 or $500 over your minimum, you would get a Nike Team Livestrong bag. If you raise $1,000 over your minimum, you would get the Nike Team Livestrong half zip, which is new this year. I really like it. Men are like a gray-green. Women are a pink. They're very nice. And then also, if you raise $5,000, you are invited to some special VIP weekend experience stuff that we'll have just for the Livestrong Austin Marathon folks. And then $10,000 does not need to be met by the fundraising deadline, but this is for Ride for the Roses, which is an annual event that we hold every year for our top fundraisers. So it would be $10,000 or more. So Ride for the Roses is always held in October of every year with our Livestrong Austin Challenge. And it's a great weekend that we like to dedicate and spend a lot of time thanking and recognizing the hard efforts by some of our really involved and engaged fundraisers. Oh, then weekend activities, sorry. So the actual weekend activities for the Livestrong, Team Livestrong participants for the Livestrong Austin Half and Full. We'll have a team brunch or lunch on Saturday. That's where we'll hand out the awards. You have to meet some of your actual teammates. So you may be Facebooking and messaging with these people, sharing training ideas, sharing tips, but this is where you get to meet the team. You get your picture, we'll pass out some of the shirts if you haven't received them, and then also we'll probably do a big group team photo and things like that. You'll get to meet our really inspiring team captain. Her name is Amy Dodson. She's a 4-time cancer survivor and truly inspiring athlete. She just completed the Kona World Championship Ironman. She did amazing. And then we'll also kind of have like a pep rally because it's the day before the race. You're about to run a half marathon. You're about to run a full marathon. It's a big deal. So we're going to get excited. We're going to get amped up, have a good time. Then after the race itself, we'll have a post-race team area. So you've just run a half or full marathon and you're exhausted. So you can go to our special VIP tent. We'll have massages. We'll have food. We'll have bag check. It's a good place to meet your family. So you can check your bag there before and after. We'll probably have beer. It's going to be great. You can rest your feet. So that we'll have that. And then the VIP experience for the people who raise over $5,000. So now that's some of the recap coverage for the Livestrong Austin Half and Full Marathon folks. But if you guys have any questions about the actual fundraising presentation itself, we can take those now. Does anyone have one? Abby? So anyone in person will be talking to this microphone.
So you did mention that some fundraising can be done after events, but it sounds like there might be some sort of a deadline for those of us that want to participate in the Austin Marathon and Half Marathon. What's the deadline for fundraising?
Good question. So she was asking, what is the fundraising deadline for individuals participating in the Livestrong Austin Half and Full Marathon? So that $500 minimum that you need to reach for individuals getting their entry through us is February 8th, 2013. So February 8th, mark that on your calendar. You need to have your fundraising in by that point. If you're above 500 and you're trying to reach one of those incentive levels, you need to have also reached that by that date as well. So February 8th, 2013 is when you need to have your fundraising minimum met for the Livestrong Austin Half and Full Marathon. And we might have questions from online. No questions. Everyone is learned everything. It was great. All right. Well, thank you guys for spending time with us this evening. We really appreciate it. We hope you learned something. We hope you have a great training experience. I hope you'll join us for one of our 2013 events and just have a wonderful evening. We'll be sending out this recap presentation on our blog sometime next week. We'll be following up with some emails and things like that. Join one of the Facebook groups if you're in one of the teams. It's a great resource, and we will see you guys around. Thanks so much.